is the Greek freak, but you knew that, right? He can go through you, run around you, and if those two aren't an option, he'll jump over you. From his life before basketball, his upbringing, how he nearly got deported, and so much more. Here are the 10 things you didn't know about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis has an insane crib that the rest of us can only dream of living in. Giannis recently bought a $1.8 million mansion in River Hills, one of those sweet mansions that look like they came straight out of GTA. The property has a sweeping tree-lined driveway that leads to a nearly new 5-bedroom, 7.5-bath custom residence. The mansion includes a ground pool guest house, home theater, game room, wine cellar, heated garage, and a workshop. And, well, some dope bedrooms in case Giannis wanted to get it, I don't know, freaky.
So, she bought me this too.
Stop, I was looking.
So guys, you know, the freak.
Stop! What is wrong with you?
He could be a freak on the court and on the shit, you know what I'm saying?
And speaking of getting freaky, it turns out Giannis is a freak on the sheets. You see, on Valentine's Day a few years back, Giannis went on Instagram Live to show off some of the cool gifts his significant other bought him. And, one of those gifts was an interesting-looking bell that had something even more interesting written on it. I'll let you look closely at it yourselves and guess what it says. Alright, so now I see why Giannis' girl loves him so much. He's got a lot of time on his hands. He has a lot of time on his big hands, you can say. Giannis may be a freak on the sheets, but his ginormous hand size makes him a super freak out on the court. Did you know that Giannis has the 3rd largest hand size in NBA history? Even bigger hands than a guy as big as Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, and Yao Ming. The average dude has hands that are 7 inches wide. Giannis' hands are more than 12. Yes, 12 inches wide. What? It's no wonder Giannis can put guys who outweigh him by 20 or 30 pounds on embarrassing posters. And when you have a superstar that can do things like that, you pay him the big bucks. Get it? I'm talking about a whopping $228 million contract. That's more money than most of us can dream of. But for a superstar like Giannis, that's small compared to most NBA stars in today's game. He is actually known for being very frugal and not living too outrageously. This stems from his difficult upbringing. Giannis is a champion, a Finals MVP, and a multiple-time NBA MVP. But never in a million years could he have imagined the life he's living right now. This is the same Giannis whose parents would often have to beg for things like food and money on the streets for many years. Giannis' parents moved to Athens from Nigeria in 1991 in hopes of trying to find a better life for themselves and their kids. But even after moving out to a working-class area, Giannis' parents still weren't able to get Greek citizenship and barely could find anything to help them make some money. Giannis was born 3 years after that, and his mom was trying to sell old things laying around the house to people on the street when Giannis had just been born. I mean, thinking about that, Giannis' family didn't even have enough money to put clothes on their backs and food on the table, let alone make enough money to pay for things like rent or a place to stay for an extended time. Let's give Giannis some recognition and love by hitting that subscribe button for our channel. Now, let's turn back up here. From barely any food on the table to a garage full of luxury vehicles, Giannis keeps up with his Rolls-Royce Cullinan. This premium beast needs no introduction and is known for class. Not even Cardi B and Jamie Foxx have one. You know this is going to cost an arm and a leg. This baby goes for a cool $335,000, but that is nothing to a $200 million man like Giannis. He also did a commercial with BMW. He keeps things exciting with his only sports car, the BMW i8. It goes up to a top speed of 155 miles per hour, costing around $150,000. He loved it so much that he even bought one for Thanasis, his older brother. And for some icing on the cake, let's just grab a GMC Yukon and a Land Rover Defender as well, and add that to the list of his cars. But this next story is anything but giggles and laughs, because Giannis had some serious bad blood with an all-star teammate in the beginning of his career. And against all odds, these two guys, who once wanted to destroy each other, ended up becoming best friends on their way to winning their first ever NBA championship. When Giannis was a rookie, he had a pretty short temper. During practice, Giannis would often treat everything like an actual NBA game: hard fouls, trash talk, and competitive fire. And someone who wasn't a fan of the young Giannis was his teammate, Chris Middleton. Chris wanted to star over Giannis, and Giannis wanted to take all of Chris's minutes. And even he went as far as saying that he hates Chris Middleton. But through their tough battles and equally extreme passion, the two somehow started making things work and actually started becoming more friends than enemies. Chris Middleton was drafted a year before Giannis, and the Bucks would have felt that Giannis might have been too much of a problem to keep on the team. Can you imagine if they ended up trading Giannis to keep Chris happy? Who am I kidding? Who in the right mind would trade a 7-foot-tall demigod that can jump over guys and come downhill like a full-speed beast on the court? Giannis could have gone pro at 16 years old. He was that good. And if it weren't for Giannis's confusing run-in with the Greek citizenship policy, he would have begun playing for the Greece national team a whole lot longer than he actually did. You see, by around 2012 or so, Giannis doubled down on his pro career by hiring a personal trainer that would help Giannis build his man body before hopefully entering the NBA. But in a strange turn of events, Giannis learned something really freaky and kinda scary when he went for a physical checkup. He found out that his liver was in dangerously bad condition, and he had no idea why. To be fair, Giannis even says to himself that he used to have a horrible diet before he entered the NBA. So Giannis had to quickly turn around his diet and stop eating whatever he wanted if he actually wanted to play in the NBA. And after some time had passed with Giannis's new eating habits and working with his new personal trainer, everything started happening. Giannis started becoming a revelation in Greece. People started learning about his freakish ability and his rare skill set at his rare size. How exactly did Giannis make such a major transformation? When you look at images from him during that time in his career, you see him exploding physically in some impressive ways that must have been downright frightening to his opponents. What was it that made his body such a specimen of pure power? It was at this time that Giannis started a brand new workout and diet routine that would radically change the way he looked and the abilities at which his body could perform. Now, his workout plan isn't easy, so if you're planning to look like a freak, well, you actually can't, so don't even try it. This is why Giannis quickly caught the eyes and ears of NBA scouts, who started profiling Giannis as a potential candidate for the NBA. Now, with the NBA calling and knocking on Giannis's doorstep, the pressure was on Giannis to finally earn his citizenship so he could eventually travel to the United States and declare for the NBA draft. This was huge. Not only was Giannis the most promising talent of all of his brothers, this was a chance for Giannis to be taken high in the NBA draft lottery and earn his big payday that would finally end a long history of financial struggles for Giannis's parents. So, it happened. In May of 2013, Giannis finally received his Greek passport and could now make a serious push at making his dreams a reality. And the rest is history, folks. What are some things you didn't know about Giannis that we didn't mention above? We would love to hear them, so drop it in the comments section below and check out this video right here.